I think coming in, we've had some big goals. We want to be a top team for our conference, and when we have a chance, going in right now, like it's a new season. But I think people look at our record and they kind of count us out. But Coach Carley's schedule is a hard, tough non-conference schedule, and so going into conference, we feel pretty good. I think we've had a couple of close wins the past couple of weeks, and so if we could just continue to build off of that, I think we'll be okay. Well, I think, we've had a couple, playing Nebraska, for example, we were close with them at halftime. I think we were down 1 or up 1 or something like that. And so just playing those games, playing those teams, like you learn how to fight, you learn how to fight back. And we see what it takes to be a good team. And so I think it's going to be good to play people who are same level as us, and it's going to be fun. I think it always helps to have a mix, just Kat and Maddie. I mean, she's an upperclassman as well. Like us three, we try to bring the energy every day, and we know what it takes to win, and so that's definitely helpful. But then having the freshmen and the sophomores like Susie and all, like they played a lot last year, and so I would consider them experienced as well. Just like I said, having that mix, having the upperclassmen to bring along the underclassmen, that helps a lot. And the underclassmen just have so much energy, and like they're just excited every day to come into practice, and so it's always fun to be around, see different like pieces, just play a role. So. Yeah, I think for sure at the beginning, everybody's trying to figure out where they fit, and people are trying to, figure out their role. And so, especially like going into conference, people are starting to figure that out. And I think we have a good feel for that, and people know what's expected of them. And so, especially at practice, like, it takes everyone from the top to the bottom. And so, people playing scout or just, being there, being Western's best player, like that means a lot for us. And so, especially if you're a freshman, sometimes you don't get as many minutes, and we have people, everyone's bought in, I think, and so it helps a lot.
Well, coming in last year, I think I came in and had a pretty big role just to start. I mean, I came in, kind of had to work my way to a starting position and like the preseason, and they immediately kind of looked to me as a leader, but I still had like Nat and Annie and Ace still here, but there were people in front of me that could kind of take on the leadership role more than I'd had to. And this year, with being one of the few returners that actually played big minutes, I've definitely had to come into the leadership role a lot more and embrace it. And even when I don't want to be, I kind of have to be a leader and like leading like on the court and off the court, and kind of helping, especially because we have a lot of new faces, helping people with, our plays or kind of what we do or what the coaches expect of them, or just helping everyone with everything. It's pretty much been my role this year. Well, our preseason and non-conference was hard. One, because they do schedule a really hard preseason or non-conference for us to prepare us, but two, just because we do have so many new faces. We trying to find chemistry, trying to figure out who's going to play where, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. And I think we learned a lot about ourselves, a lot about our team, but I think we're definitely gluing together at the right time, which is now, right when conference starts. And Coach always says, you don't want to be your best in October, November. You kind of want to be your best in January, February, when it really matters. And so I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Definitely in the beginning, we were trying to kind of find our identity, but I think now it's kind of just, we know our goals, we know what we want to be, we know what we're capable of, because we've seen it in previous games, especially the Northern Colorado game right before break. I think was a really good game just to see what we are capable of, and playing a good team like they are and being able to come out with a win at home. I think as far as our identity, we've found that, and we just want to continue to grow into that. I think it's definitely encouraging, especially playing that game, and now we're going into conference play, opponents that kind of match us a little more. We needed the extra boost just because it's going to be hard now. It's not going to be as easy, but for multiple people, especially being able to play and actually score and get confidence, and people that are even coming off the bench and contributing a lot, I think it was a really good game in all aspects, just for everyone to see the ball go in and for us to get excited for each other and trying new things and just being able to like push the ball and score, and it was just really fun overall.
Yeah, I think we're trending in the right direction. Had a ton of new faces this year. Really only 3 veteran, I would say, minutes players returning from last season. Obviously 3 talented players, though, and I thought we did a pretty good job of putting some pieces around those 3 to kind of help this program. And those kids are now just kind of coming into their own, figuring out their roles, figuring out how they can help this team and what the expectation is of them. And I think as the season games have gone on, we've really kind of settled into figuring out what we need from each individual player, and I think we're in a really good place right now. You've mentioned identity a lot, trying to figure out what this team's identity is, and I think we're trending in the right direction for that. I think being tough defensively. We've gotten better rebounding. I thought we really struggled early to rebound the ball, and part of it was who we were playing really good rebounding team, some of the best in the country. But just being a tougher team, tougher offensively, being able to take care of the ball. I think rebounding and turnovers have been kind of our Achilles heel this year, and really trying to clean some of that up. Haven't really given them the easiest schedule to kind of work through some of that, but also we needed to learn how to win. And we lost some really close games early that we were in control of the game, and it kind of slipped away. So it was really good towards the end of the year to see, it happened in that Northern Colorado game. We got down to start the 4th quarter, and for us to be able to fight back and come down with a really good win. Like I said, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think one thing is, it's like, okay, when you need a bucket, Andrea's going to be able to get you a bucket. She's extremely competitive, sometimes to a fault, where it's hard for her to come back from missed shots or shots that she thinks she can make or mistakes. And I think that she's really matured in that aspect over the 3 years. It's something that I've really challenged her with, to stay focused and stay engaged in the game when she might not be playing well. She doesn't realize how much defenses attract, how teams game prep around her, and they'll face guard her, they'll double her, they'll triple her, and it's hard for her to score, but still being able to contribute in the game and find other ways to help this team. But I would say her competitive edge separates her from most people, and her work ethic. She's an extremely hard worker. She's going to be in the gym every single day, and really kind of sets the tone for our team in that regard. Well, for one, I think women's basketball is about relationships, and it's about, like, you get connected to the kids, and we send these girls up in the bleachers to meet and greet fans, because once they get to know these kids, and once they realize what awesome kids they are and what awesome women they are, and role models, you want to come back. I mean, there's not been a fan that's come and that hasn't come back. Tons of people in my neighborhood, friends in the community, like the first game they come, they're like, oh my gosh, this was really fun. When's the next game? And so it's about relationships, it's about the connections and supporting these girls and these women. And I think that's a great group of women, and why would you not want to come watch them? They're fun to watch. They celebrate each other. They play hard. They play the right way. They're great teammates. And yeah, they come, they will come back. Yeah, we do kind of have a tale of 2 teams. We've got very, very young kids, and then we've got some very old kids. There's not really in between. And I think Andrea and Kat have done an incredible job of staying plugged in with the team, because it's like you're a 23-year-old woman who's married now, and then you've got 18-year-olds. That's a pretty big gap. But I think they've done a really good job of bridging that gap. I've had to live with some young mistakes with my players, and I kind of had to learn that through the first month. I was really frustrated, and then I remembered we're playing kids that are freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and they've got to learn. They've got to. Sometimes it's a game of mistakes, and you got to learn how to play through those mistakes. And I had to let that happen. And but I think that our coaching staff, and I think our leadership has done a great job of bringing them along and keeping them staying the course and kind of diving back into their days in that time, as freshmen, and being able to kind of just put things in perspective and help them realize that everyone has to experience this as a college athlete, and being able to continue to bring them along and just be great leaders.